Everyone, tonight on the program, a month of March records significant jump in inflation to 19.4%, the highest in 13 years.
That is a 19.4% for the month of March 2022, and the 15.7% for the month of February 2022 is the highest since we started seeing an increase in rate of inflation between May and June.
Meantime, prices of petroleum products to go down marginally beginning Friday. We'll have a report for you. Plus, the Joy Business Van tonight features one of Ghana's first IT solutions providers, Rema Systems and Associates Limited. We'll learn how it is reinventing its business after the pandemic hit. There's more coming up in this half hour of business news. Do stay with us. My name is Daryl Kwawu. Thanks for staying with us tonight. The month of March recorded a significant jump in inflation to 19.4%, the highest since August 2009. This was influenced by increasing prices of foodstuff as well as transport fares. They all recorded inflation rates higher than the national average. There is more in this report.
The March inflation rate, the highest in 13 years, can be attributed to the invasion of Ukraine by Russia, which has affected food supply. This has widened the gap between food inflation, which rose to 22.4%, and non-food inflation rate, which stood at 17.1% at the end of March. This indicates that prices of food commodities have dominated overall inflation for the period. Here is government statistician Professor Samuel Kobna-Ini.
If you look at the trend over the last 3 months, one would want to assume that the effect of the war in Ukraine, if anything, is now telling on inflation, given that for the months of January, February, the highest inflation was on housing, water, electricity, and gas, and now we're seeing the drift away from housing, water, electricity, and gas, and it's now telling on transport and food. So it's clearly the pronouncement that the war is having effect on these two items. That is why now we see a change around away from housing, water, electricity, and gas to transport having the highest division rate of inflation of 27.6%. So from that trend perspective, one can surmise that it is now that we are beginning to feel the effect, if any, of the war on inflation in Ghana.
For the first time in a while, the Bono Ahafo region recorded the highest rate of inflation across the country as the result of a significant jump in vegetable prices from the region.
From a geographical perspective, we continue to see variations across the administrative regions, and for the first time we are seeing the Bronx Ahafo region recording the highest rate of inflation of 23.1%, and the Upper East region recording the least inflation of 12.5%, suggesting that a more than 10 percentage point between the region with the highest inflation and the region with the lowest inflation.
Locally produced items also recorded a significant increase as against imported items.
Well, joining us tonight, economist Dr. Edu Susako to discuss this latest inflation figure. Great to have you on the program tonight, sir. We know what this essentially means is that the cost of living is going up. However, how does this, I should say, rather hurt the economy further?
The question again, how will it hurt the economy?
Further, yeah.
Yes, of course. I mean, the cost of living will rise. Inflation eats away the real value of the money in our pockets, as people would say. Now, people can really feel it in their pockets. Unlike previously, when inflation rate was low, people would say we can't feel it. Now they can feel it. And so it will eat away the value of money, the purchasing power of the monies in our hands. So no matter the amount of money that you take to the market, it will buy little. And it is not a good sign. This is not what you want in the economy. Something must be done drastically and must be done now before things get out of hand. The last thing you want is for your population to starve. I don't think that Ghanaians deserve any starvation. We should be able to. And so there should be programs from the government to mitigate these effects.
Okay, most countries, if not all, are feeling the pinch of Russia's war on Ukraine. And most of the solutions I'm hearing to curtail inflation, those seem to be long-termish, like pumping money into a great, boosting local production, cutting down on imports. Just wondering, in the short term, how can government manage this and ease the impact on individuals and businesses? You say we need a solution now.
Yes, we have sat down as a country and allowed this problem to deteriorate. Now we are feeling the impact. We were told that the government has the planting for food and that we have abundance of food at a lower price. And this raises questions about the success of the program. And we have to, first of all, begin with the little items that the government can, if they can subsidize, then they should subsidize. For example, government needs fertilizer now. If farmers are crying that they don't have access to fertilizer and therefore it will increase the price of food, then I think that government must intervene to subsidize fertilizer in the short term so we can have an all-year-round production. We don't want any starvation in the country. We don't want any hunger in the country. And so going forward, the program must be intensified to increase local production in the country. Another solution that I want to propose is for the government or all stakeholders to take this recommendation by weighing all foodstuffs on the market. I think when you travel to other African countries, they weigh it on a scale. So maybe tomatoes or cassava or plantain or fish, whatever you want to buy, you go to the market, it is weighed on the scale. And so we can start by doing this too. The essence of it is to harmonize all prices so that you know that a kilo of yam is cost this maybe 10 cedis. And it is 10 cedis from Medina Market to Makola to the northern part to Accra or to Volta. That's what I mean. So we can harmonize prices and stabilize food inflation within the shortest possible time. And then going forward, we must really ensure local production, have access to fertilizer. There are some little items that we can produce in the country, like corn, wheat, and all these we can produce in the country. And so we have to be inward looking and intensify the planting for food and jobs program.
And what's your projection for the coming months? Are we going to see further hikes in inflation, do you think, and by what margin? Seeing that the war is not ended yet, however, I should also point out there seems to be a lull in the rate of increase when it comes to fuel prices.
Well, we know, the fuel prices are increasing from two sources. One, from the international crude oil price due to the war because of the shortage in supply. And two, because of the cedi depreciation. And thank God that the e-levy has been passed, and therefore government can now have access to the capital market to borrow externally to bring in forex. So again, you have seen that the market has already reacted to the government short-term policies to stabilize the cedi. So for the cedi depreciation, it's okay, it is stabilized now. The only concern now is the crude oil price. And so, yes, there will be further increment, but the rate at which it will increase will slow down because of the stability in the city. So let's hope that the war ends now. But if it continues, we expect an increment in inflation again, but not too much, because the depreciation of the cedi has been stabilized, and I think it's a good sign. But again, it comes back to the other side of inflation. So because the exchange rate has always been affecting the non-food inflation. The food we know, there are some important items, but largely we can control it with our agri production. So I think that the future does not look too bad because of the stability that we are enjoying now. To be better. Hopefully, we may not go beyond 20%. Hopefully, we may not go beyond 20% in the coming months.
You give us hope. Dr. Edu Susako, economist with the University of Ghana. I appreciate your time with us tonight. You're watching Business Live. We're talking about fuel prices going down globally, the price of crude oil. Well, the prices of petroleum products are expected to witness marginal reduction at the pumps beginning this Friday. This is based on data that Joy Business has secured from the bulk oil distribution companies. Here's George Affe with more.
Prices that the bulk oil distribution companies will be selling to the oil marketing firms from this Friday. Diesel is expected to be reduced by some 26 pesos per litre, while petrol should go down by 6 pesos. This should mean that diesel from this weekend should go for 10 Ghana cedis, 3 pesos, if you are working with the price codes of Guel on the market. Petrol, on the other hand, should go for 9 Ghana cedis, 29 pesos. According to the bulk oil distribution companies, the marginal reduction can be linked to declining prices of crude oil on the international market and a fairly stable Ghana cedi. For some consumers, this may be described as not so good news looking at the margin of reduction that we should witness from this Friday. This because based on the recent developments on the exchange market, that is the cedi stabilizing against the dollar over the past week, and the Bank of Ghana's decision to guarantee sale of dollars to the bulk oil distribution companies to aid imports, some were looking forward to a bigger reduction at the pumps. Well, for some consumers, the assurance is that if the current trends on the world market should continue in terms of price of crude oil declining, then we should be assured of further reduction in prices of petroleum products at the pumps in the coming weeks.
And you're watching Business Live. Still to come, the Joy Business Van tonight features one of Ghana's first IT solutions providers, Rema Systems and Associates Limited. We learn how that business is reinventing after the pandemic hit. And welcome back to Business Live. Time for the Joy Business Van, brought to you by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, and MTN, everywhere you go. Now, over the past decades, the introduction of the internet has vastly expanded communication and information. It's also transformed the way we work, bringing with it solutions that enhance efficiency and ease of doing business. Information technology solutions provider Rema Systems and Associates Limited is among the first firms to sprung up to provide tailored IT services to support business growth. The Joy Business Fund is there tonight. Here's our report. In 1995, Ghana became the next African country to have full internet connectivity in sub-Saharan Africa. The introduction of internet and wireless technology vastly expanded communication and information. Information technology had come to stay. Businesses and organizations would become dependent on it for their survival. Software planning and development became very essential.
A cloud-based solution that can be accessed by anybody, anywhere.
Rema Systems and Associates was one of the first firms to spring up to provide technology solutions. It was started by 4 friends in the year 2000. We meet up with 2 of the co-founders, Daniel Abrokwa and Samuel Newman.
During those days, 2000, That was when emerging technology, ERP systems, etc., will come. So we decided to team up to form this company.
Well, by then, also the small businesses, they didn't have softwares to use. So our target was, what software can we put on the market for the small businesses? So that brought the idea of Sage Pastel.
The partnership with Pastel of South Africa, now Sage Pastel, facilitated its first business with Wallspace, a digital broadcasting company, and some local firms like Efam Ponsa Pharmaceutical Company, producer of FPAC. Enterprise Resource Planning, ERP, a type of software that organizations use to manage day-to-day business activities such as accounting, procurement, and project management, was in high demand at the time. Rema Systems became the go-to place for such solutions. Rema Systems, over time, assembled a team of devoted software and hardware engineers who have developed and deployed tailored solutions that have helped companies streamline their business processes, save cost, and increase turnover consistently. Rema Systems already started making footprints in other African countries, such as Nigeria, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Gambia, Senegal, DR Congo, Rwanda, and Chad.
Almost all the solutions that we were dealing with were desktop applications, which required skills and personally. You have to be there in person to be able to implement, train, do hand-holding, and support. So with that technology, it means that we needed more people. So as the business grew, we were also increasing the number of employees. And that was the technology at that time till about 5 years ago, 2016, 2017, when cloud technology started echoing. So we all also decided, as part of management strategic plan, to also move to the cloud technology space. But we thought we had time. So COVID struck.
As unexpected as it was, the COVID-19 pandemic accelerated Rema Systems' shift to cloud computing technology, which allows people to share information and applications across the internet without being restricted to physical location.
When COVID came, there was a lockdowns. Companies decided to implement working from home policy. So the kind of technology that we were supporting, it was desktop and in person. You have to be there in person to be able to support. It became redundant and obsolete. We couldn't fit within a space of a short time. Everything is counting down. So COVID actually meant you either survive by reinventing yourself or your business die.
Most IT companies which were not swift enough to make the transition have had to shut down as they have lost businesses. Rema Systems had to be creative and innovative to stay in business.
It meant we have to now come up with cutting-edge technologies which were in tune with cloud computing. So currently we have over a period of 15 months now, we've come up with almost about 8 to 9 products at various stages of development and go to market. Some of them are almost ready entering the market.
The solutions include church management system, education management system, as well as field inventory management system. So what have been the greatest successes struck by Rema Systems?
I'll say that the impact at least we made with the telecommunication companies. Ghana Telecom, Vodafone, Tigo, at least we ran all their operations in Africa in terms of their retail management solution, which is key because once they are not making the money, it affects operation. So with the retail management system, they are easily able to realize the their incomes and revenue. Yeah.
Rema Systems, like every other business, has had to weather the pandemic storm, and its association with the Canada-Ghana Chamber of Commerce for the past 7 years has been helpful.
They were always checking on us. How is the business doing? Trying to create opportunities, trying to link us up with other people or in and out of the country, just to ensure that our businesses, work. And one, I think, the new thinking of the executive management of the chamber is now to look at how we can strengthen the domestic companies.
Strengthening domestic companies, Rema Systems believes is essential, especially at this time, and is excited about potential strategic partnerships and opportunities ahead. Meantime, Rema Systems continues to explore new solutions as technology evolves.
What we've decided now is that every step of new technology that comes, we fit ourselves into it. So right now we are in the era of AI. We've trained staff to be able to go into that area. That's why most of the solutions that we have now have AI and business intelligence components in them. Because that is the future. We want to see Rema going into the next 20 years plus, that it becomes the Africa or the Ghana Microsoft. Actually, that's what we are looking at. The Ghana Microsoft.
Especially to solve the problems on the continent.
We can do it. We can do it.
We
can do it.
Our Joy Business Van episode for tonight brought to you by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, and MTN. Everywhere you go, we'll be back next week with another episode. Meantime, here is news from around the world. And that's our program tonight. Thanks for watching, everyone. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. Keep watching Joy News. My name is Daryl Kwawu. See you same time tomorrow.